So hello, welcome to the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. It's Andrew Weaver, CEO at lawyerfair.co.uk, and today I am welcoming from the south coast of England. Actually, John, where are you based?
In Havant in Hampshire, just outside Portsmouth.
Okay, Havant in Hampshire. There was the voice of Jon Green. Welcome, John.
Thanks.
John, not at all. Thank you for joining us. John works at Approved Accounting, and actually was one of the reasons we picked up on John, and why we're delighted to have him on board. He was recognised by Enterprise Nation as one of the top 50 UK business advisors. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Great acknowledgement to the work you're obviously doing for your clients. Now, the topic we're focusing on today, John, is cloud computing, the efficiencies and advantages that you can gain from it. And I know your practice has direct experience of the transition to cloud computing and the impact it had for you.
It does, yes. Yeah. I mean, going back sort of 3 years probably, we, like many other businesses, we had a server and we had sort of hard connections between the PCs, and we looked at the whole setup and said, right, we need to change this. We need to move with the times because technology is moving quicker than it ever has done before. And yeah, we ditched the server and moved our whole business into the cloud, as it were.
Well, and was it a difficult transition for you and the team, or was it relatively smooth?
It took quite a while because we took our time to think it through very carefully and plan it and make sure that we didn't jump into something that was, a pitfall. So we were in no particular rush. We knew we wanted to get it right, but looking back, it went very well indeed, actually, and it was a very, very valuable learning experience. And
so in terms of the clients you're dealing with, particularly the clients who are kind of pre-cloud, I mean, what are the conversations? I mean, why should a business do it? What are the benefits that they get from the transition?
There are several, really. Firstly, efficiency has got to be the big one. So the way you can work now with, I mean, from our particular sort of specific point of view, we talk mainly about accounting software, but it's obviously a lot more than that. But from that specific viewpoint, the way that data is processed and the massive improvement in the how up-to-date information is that's available to business owners, it's just, the transformation is unrecognisable really over probably the last 5 years even. So, gone are the days where the accountant comes along and sort of tells the business owner about something that happened, 18 months ago, that it just isn't relevant anymore. We now work, on a sort of day-to-day basis with clients, and we know exactly how they're doing, and we feed that on to them. They know how they're doing. They've got the same access to the same information that we have, and it helps business owners to run their business far more effectively because they know where they are and they can make the right decisions, and not, it removes the guesswork, if you like.
And from your experience, I mean, is accounting the kind of one of the first areas that tends to get moved to the cloud? I mean, because clearly, I run a virtual, to some extent, a virtual business here. Pretty much everything we do is in the cloud. But is it accounting that generally is the first thing that businesses look at taking to the cloud, or do they look at the wider package all at the same time?
That's a good question. I mean, there are a lot of software products out there now, and you won't see a new product coming out that's desktop based now. It just doesn't happen. So one of two things happens really. Either a business has come across the need to move their sort of operational systems to the cloud for a business reason, or we come along and say, you really should be moving your accounting to the cloud because of X, Y, Z reasons. And either the two go hand in hand, or one happens independently of the other. But I mean, traditionally it's been the case that accounting software has been light years behind the rest of the world, but actually that's switched around quite drastically now, and I don't want to name drop, but there are a couple of leading packages that we work very closely with, and they just they really are leading the way.
Well, I'm happy to name drop in the hope that they might send me some goodies. But we use Xero, and I have to say, yeah, right. And I have to say, it's brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant. I love using it, and I'm really not a numbers man at all. But I find it very intuitive, and B, clearly the relationship with the accountant is in real time, and it's just a completely different world, isn't it?
Absolutely. The automation of data entry and of the manual entry really doesn't happen anymore. It's just not needed. The oversight from the accountant that can happen, as you say, in almost real time, so you don't get mistakes being made or problems occurring that aren't spotted for months and months and months. Transfer of data. The data's all up in the cloud, so anyone with the right authority can access it at any time. They're just a whole host of advantages.
Well, John, you and I, off the record, we're discussing, our children in nursery and various lovely things like that. And I have to say, one of the things that has changed in my life in the last couple of years is sitting and watching Cbeebies, and they have cloud babies. I don't know whether you're familiar with cloud babies, but it always makes me chuckle when I see it, because so many people kind of find the word cloud rather mysterious, because actually it's all being logged in these huge servers somewhere else, isn't it, rather than in your own office?
Yes, that's right. I was thinking about this beforehand, and really, I thought you'd ask me what is cloud computing, and the best way to describe it is to say that you're using the internet as your network. Rather than in the past, you just have sort of wires connecting PCs in an office. And I look at my son and think, when he grows up, all of the things that will be absolutely second nature to him that have always existed as far as he's concerned. And I'll say to him, I remember when the internet didn't exist, and he won't be able to comprehend that, I shouldn't think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my little one already uses the iPad more than mum and dad, frankly, which is appalling. But listen, that's really interesting. And John, I appreciate your time and kind of articulating what cloud computing means. I'm going to put a link to your own practice on the content that follows this podcast. But John, thanks for your time, and good luck, and good luck with the little ones as well. And
thanks very much.
Keep them off the iPad is my tip.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. To regulate. That's right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
John,
no. Thanks for having me. It's been really interesting.
Not at all. Thanks for joining us. That was Jon Green, Approved Accounting. That was also the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. Thank you for listening. There'll be more tomorrow.